I got my money shirt on because today we are definitely talking about money. And it doesn't get any more money than budgeting. Welcome to episode 43 of the Cheeky Sales Coach, Building Your Marketing Budget. The word of today is actually a phrase. It is the paradox of simplicity. This is my philosophy that basically we all think we can do each other's jobs. And there's no better example of that than in marketing. We all look at marketing and we say, that sounds so easy. Anybody can do it. And so then we do a crappy job with our own marketing. So the question is, in the big picture, should you save money by doing it yourself? And of course, there's lots of variables in that. Are you really saving money? Are you doing a good job? Is good enough good enough? Think about your own business. Should I hire you or should I do it myself? If I hire you, you're really good at what you do for a living. I might be mediocre at what you do for a living. I might be horrible at what you do for a living. So should I be doing it myself or should I be hiring a professional? Sometimes the answer is good enough is good enough, and the buyer gets to make that decision. But sometimes good enough sucks out loud and it looks horrible and amateurish. And I'll give you a perfect example. In my opinion, every time I see homemade business cards that aren't cut quite right, they're not printed quite right, they have laser perf edges, I always think, cards are like 5 cents a piece. Why can't you just go get real business cards? And so for me, that's a big red flag. That's just my personal one. But there's many, many others. I would say I am mediocre at graphics. When I need a book cover, when I need something that's actually good that has to sell, I hire somebody who does that for a living. When I create a book cover, it looks like somebody kind of did their own book cover who doesn't know very much about graphics. When professionals do it, I don't know what they do. It's like magic. They do a really great job. So some graphics, if I need to crop a photo and resize it and stick it in a video, I can do that. If I need to take a screenshot of the handout, I can do that. Speaking of handouts, if you are a member of the Cheeky Sales Coach professional program, which is only $99, you can download all of our materials. That now includes a sample marketing budget. And we're going to walk through this, but basically the marketing budget has 3 different columns. One is what it would cost you to just pay somebody money and have something done. Second column is how many hours would it take for you to do it yourself. So something that a professional might do in 1 hour might take you 3 hours. And then you got to figure out what your time is worth. Last column is what would it cost you to outsource that. So if you hire a virtual assistant to do something or go on Fiverr and pay somebody to do something, there's lots of options there. So do you really need a marketing budget? Well, obviously the answer is yes. And I've heard people say, well, small businesses don't really need marketing. They don't really need to do anything except word of mouth, and they shouldn't spend anything on marketing. That's what I call stupid. Of course you need to spend money on marketing. If nothing else, LinkedIn is whatever, $29.95 a month. You need to do that. If you want to create videos and have Zoom calls, you need Zoom, $40 a month. There's lots of little things that you need to spend money on. Those are in your marketing budget. So sales, remember, is all about asking people for their money. So an advertisement that says, come give me your money, that's sales. But marketing that says, hey, we're trying this new program, please join us, or here's some good juicy information about us, or here's my blog, here's my YouTube video, that's all marketing. So most of what you want to do is in marketing. And in the marketing, the sample marketing budget, you're going to see a list of many, many categories depending on the focus of what you're doing. For example, lead generation is one set of things that you would budget. Remember, marketing fills your sales funnel, so you absolutely have to do it. If you don't believe me, watch the last episode, 42. So now, please join me. Here are 6 or 7 things you need to know about creating a marketing budget. Thing number 1, yes, you have to do it. You have to have a marketing budget, and you have to figure out what you're spending. So I would start by figuring out what you spent last year. Go into your QuickBooks, make sure you've got the categories set up so you can actually run a report on this. There should be a line that says marketing, and it may have many sub-accounts underneath that, but click the big total for the last 12 months and find out what you spent on marketing. You may also see that there's a lot of stuff like printing newsletters, for example, that may not be there and need to get moved into that. So you need to maybe fix up your chart of accounts. But basically start with what you have. Nobody spends nothing on marketing even though they think that's true. It's not true. Again, things like your social media accounts, if you pay for a service to do podcasting, that it may only be $20 a month, but it's not zero. So what are all the things you spend on marketing? And also, if you don't have a way to allocate time, you need to keep tracking your time with regard to marketing. Thing number 2, this looks like a flash from the 1960s. It's never free. So remember, you have to either spend money or time or some combination of those. And that's the key to success. In many, many cases, you don't have to spend the money or the time. You can do a combination of those. So you might take something as far as you can take it and then hand it off to somebody who actually knows what they're doing. I did this recently with a banner that I needed made and a tablecloth that I needed made. I kind of drew a crappy version that I could do, and I put in all the ideas, and then I hired a professional who actually made it look good. So that's the sort of thing where you can go as far as you can go, and your time costs something, and then hand it off to somebody where you pay them to turn it into the real marketing product. Thing number 3 has actually got 3 parts to it. First one is, if you excel at something, go ahead and do it. So if you're really good at graphics, go ahead and do that. If you fiddle with 3D modeling and whatever, and that's something that you can work into your marketing, by all means, you should do that. But second part is, if you suck at something, don't do it. Hand it off to somebody else. Either pay somebody or hire somebody, whatever you need to do. But if you're really, really bad at something, don't have one piece that you did well and one piece you did horribly, because that's where your skill set ended. Remember, if you're good, do it. If you're not good, let somebody else do it. Part 3 of that is basically, if you love something but you're not good at it, you will get good over time. So it's okay to try it, go as far as you can, and then hand it off to somebody else. If you really love whatever that thing is, do more and more and more of it, and then you'll get closer and closer, and you will get better over time. Love does amazing things with regard to building your skill set. So for example, you might write a draft of a sales letter and then turn it over to a professional who will clean it up and tell you why they made the changes they made. And then you'll get better and better and better. Or again, it might be graphics, or it might be something having to do with money or budgeting. Whatever it is, figure out what you love, what you hate, and what you want to get good at. Thing number 4, remember, managing people takes time. Even spectacularly good people who are really good at what they do, you got to at least check in and say, I need this, I need that, and is this done yet? Is that done yet? Right? It just takes time. It might take a little time, but it doesn't take 0 time. So in that equation of just buy or do it yourself or outsource, the combination of those is always going to have you spending some of your time managing the project. So remember, nothing is free with regard to time as well as money. Thing number 5, your time has to be worth something. Now, some people are kind of very, very strident about this. I'm not. When your business is young, you are going to spend way more of your personal time doing things that you will later hire other people to do. That's just the way the world works. When you're what they call, young and hungry, right? When you're getting started at any business, no matter what your age is, you're going to spend a lot of time doing stuff yourself. And then at some point, it either becomes drudgery, you don't like doing it, or you realize you're not good at it, or you just need to step up the quality or step up the speed. All of those things require you to hand something off to somebody else. But at some point, there are tasks that even if you're good at, and you may even enjoy, you have to remember that you have to make that calculation between doing this thing related to marketing and doing something else. So for example, I will always put actual sales, a half-hour sales call, a sales presentation, a quote that I need to get to a client, higher than marketing activities. Marketing activities are great. They keep your funnel full. But sales activities pay the bills and buy daddy new shoes. The other thing about the value of your personal time and how it fits in the balance, this absolutely will change over time. So remember, the calculation that you had 5 years ago is not the calculation you're going to have 5 years from now. How much is your time worth relative to other things? That's a calculation you have to be constantly making, and just be aware it will change over time. Thing number 6, you need a 5-year budget. And I know this is not the Soviet Union, but here's the deal. You need to know, in the mix between spending money outright, spending time outright, and doing outsourcing or some combination of those, what will your company look like in 5 years? Where are you going? Is the goal that you will get yourself out of this, or build certain skill sets and do that yourself? Is there something like blogging or podcasting where you're actually pretty darn good and you want to grow those skills? Whatever it is, set goals for what you want to be spending with regard to time and money, as well as managing outsourced personnel. What are your goals for 5 years from now? Put that in writing and evaluate it maybe once a year, and just kind of be constantly changing it. Remember, we never step in the same river twice. It's not the same river, and we're not the same people. Finally, thing number 7, always try new things. That's the best part about marketing. The entire world of marketing changes all the time, right? 10 years ago, nobody did TikTok. 20 years ago, nobody did YouTube, nobody did podcasting, nobody did most of the stuff we use today. It used to be that if you were good at marketing, it meant you wrote long sales letters and you were a master at stuffing envelopes. I love my direct mail, but I also spend a lot of time, effort, and energy on many, many things that literally didn't exist 5, 10, 15 years ago. I don't know what's coming up in the next 5, 10, 15 years, but you should always be tuned in, look at something, find out first, is my market going to be using that new service? Or is it just not there? For example, in my business, I don't think my buyers are going to TikTok to learn about how to be a better IT consultant. I could be wrong about that, but I just don't think it's happening. But I do have to keep an eye on new social media that are particularly appealing to them, or groups where they're hanging out, or events that they're going to, right? That mix changes literally all the time, and I have to stay on top of it, and I have to try new things. And if they work, great. I will do it again, and I'll fine-tune it, and I'll see if I can make it happen. If it doesn't work, I just turn around and walk away and pretend like nothing happened. Here's the important safety tip there. Most of the time, most of the people aren't paying any attention to you. So it's okay to try something. If it fails, it means nobody noticed. So no one's going to be like giving you a bad time for the rest of your life because you tried something and failed. They don't know. So I encourage you to go to cheekysalescoach.com, download that sample template, and then start filling it in, fine-tuning it for your own purposes. Remember, what you want to do is copy that first worksheet and work from the copy. You can even save the whole thing as a different file to be very, very safe, and that way you've always got the master copy. But go in there and say, okay, what am I going to spend on this? And it's got a pretty long list of categories. Figure out what the total is for your company going forward, and literally budget your time and budget your money. I would love to have any feedback you've got. If you like it, like the video, subscribe to the channel, blah, blah, blah. Have a spectacular week, and I will see you next time on the Cheeky Sales Coach. Call to action. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you won't miss a thing.